Good Tuesday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love CVille Show. Thank you kindly for joining us on a gorgeous spring Tuesday in Charlottesville. We are so grateful for your viewership and listenership on today's program and in programs past and in programs to come. The network is growing leaps and bounds from a viewership and listenership standpoint, and we are grateful for you guys for your support of this network and the content we create on a daily basis. The very cool aspect of the program is you, the viewer and listener, can dictate the pace and tempo of the program with your comments and perspective. Today's show is a dynamite one. We're going to feature Nancy Gill in a matter of about 14 minutes on the program, the former mayor of Scottsville, Virginia, friend of the I Love CVille Show, to highlight a number of projects that are in the works in and around Scottsville. She will join us via Skype from Massachusetts. In the 1 o'clock hour, our friend Dino, the owner of Dino's Pizza and Dairy Market, live from the International Pizza Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dino, a stand-up guy and just a fantastic human that makes some of the best pizza I have ever had, some of the best chicken I have ever had, and gives some of the best greetings and hugs that I ever had. Dino, you are A-plus people, my friend. Do me a favor and hit like and share of the program. We're live on every social media platform possible. We thank our friends at Skooma Boutique Dispensary for being a part of the show. Skooma Boutique Dispensary on the downtown mall next to Rapture. Certificates of analyses for everything in the store. We welcome a new partner, and Greenberry's Coffee, for being a part of the show. Greenberry's Coffee is giving away coffee for an entire year. You can enter to win free coffee for an entire year through this URL, enter.greenberries.com, enter.greenberries.com. And as Judah rotates the branding banner on screen, you will see some of the best partners in the business that are kindly supporting this program, like Scott Wagner Integrated Medicine, Patty Zeller at Animal Connection, Ted Anderson at Anderson Seafood and Catering, Camera Limousine, and so much more. First, Kevin Yancey, welcome to the program, the King of Waynesboro. I'd like to highlight an important meeting that transpired yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlottesville City Council hosted a public session, an opportunity for the community to speak on topics of importance. And the community was engaged and prepared to speak. One of the topics of consideration was school reconfiguration, how we were going to finance it, a tax rate increase, personal property tax increase, and projects du jour, including Stribling Avenue and a development project that has many folks in the neighborhood scratching their heads, to say the least, about what's coming down the pipe. First, I'd like to relay to you the temperature and the mood from council and the temperature and the mood from city manager, who's a consultant, not the permanent one. I think we are all realizing the writing on the wall that a 10-cent real estate tax rate increase will expedite gentrification. I have covered that very closely on this show. City Council, I'm confident after yesterday's meeting, realizes that as well. The likelihood of a 10-cent real estate tax rate increase is now not likely. The likelihood of a tax rate increase of some kind, likely. That's probably going to be in the neighborhood of a couple pennies on $100 of real estate value. The city manager suggested 2 cents, a 2-cent increase to the real estate tax rate. That 2 cents is digestible. Will that 2 cents fund school reconfiguration? No. The city manager said, and I'll straight up cut to the chase, that the reconfiguration project should be tabled and put to rest, at least in the interim or short-term basis. This is what we've been saying all along on this network. It's paramount that the community and leadership in our community make fiscally responsible decisions with taxpayer dollars. And doing a tax rate increase of 10 cents to fund reconfiguration for 2 schools, one Buford, the other one Walker, is not fiscal responsibility. You can expect the rate to climb 1 or 2 pennies. And yes, that's going to have an impact on fixed income and low income citizens in the city. No doubt about it. But what you saw yesterday in this meeting was a hired gun, a mercenary city manager, a consultant that is a pay-to-play city manager named Michael C. Rogers. And you saw a man who's got experience running jurisdictions make fiscal, responsible policy decisions despite pulse and popularity of a few vocal people in this community. Other city managers, perhaps more permanent ones, full-time ones, would have perhaps succumbed to the pulse and to the vocal, organized minority that are demanding tax rate increases. Instead, Michael Rogers is not from here. He's on a short-term 6-month contract. He's not the full-time permanent guy. He's here for maybe another 6-month renewal term after the current 6 months expires this summer. You saw a guy see through the noise, see through the Twitter sphere, and explain to council, now is not the time to do reconfiguration, and now is not the time to raise the tax rate. That right there is someone who's unafraid to make decisions that may ruffle feathers, someone who's making decisions for the betterment of the community long term. Do we need to do reconfiguration? Yes. Do we need to narrow the educational gap? Yes. Are we concerned with educational infrastructure at Buford and Walker? Yes. Do we do it today? No. We don't do it today. I've stuck with this consistent message that gentrifying this community should be top of mind for leadership in City Hall. We continue on the path we are, gentrification will undoubtedly happen. And then you have a homogeneous, wealthy community in Charlottesville. That's not what we want. Raising taxes is the opposite of affordability. Raising taxes is synonymous with gentrification. So before I move to the next topic, I want everyone to realize this. The likelihood of reconfiguration happening this year, being approved this year, is unlikely. The likelihood of a 10-cent tax rate increase happening this year is unlikely. And the personal property taxes that we're about to pay in early June, the Commissioner of Revenue, Todd Drivers, he is screaming in a megaphone, begging council, Todd Drivers is, to lower the tax rate, the personal property tax rate. He is telling everyone on record, if we don't lower the personal property tax rate, community members will be angry, frustrated, and get stung by increased bills because the used car market is out of control. Normally, used cars do not increase in assessed value. But because of supply chain issues, that's exactly what has happened. The cars we drive, the used ones, if things don't change from a personal property tax rate, we're going to be paying more to the city of Charlottesville for those used cars this June than last June. That's unfortunate because our disposable income is already pinched because of inflation, because of gasoline, because of groceries, because of rising assessments. Our Commissioner of Revenue, Todd Divers, I feel for him. He's an elected officer of Charlottesville. He's explaining to everyone that your bills, when you get them really, really soon, are going to surprise you. And he's papering the trail, documenting in meetings that I've asked council to lower the rate because it's me who the grief, the animosity, and the beef falls upon. Do I think the personal property tax rate is going to be decreased? Unfortunately, I do not. But the positive of everything that's transpired here is the tax rate's not going to go up 10 cents on real estate. School reconfiguration is likely going to be tabled. The capital improvement budget is likely not going to be frozen for 8 to 10 years. And Charlottesville, as a jurisdiction, will have some financial flexibility in case the proverbial you-know-what hits the fan. We should give props to these 5 folks that are paying for the sins of their predecessors. And that's what Mayor Snook and Councilors Payne, Pinkston, McGill, and Wade are going through right now. They're paying for sins of their predecessors. Buford getting kicked down and kicked down and kicked down the curb. Not an easy position to be in. Nancy Gill will join us in about 60 seconds on the program. There's a number of projects that are happening in Scottsville that I want to highlight on today's show. Nancy's the former mayor of the town of Scottsville and an all-around A-plus person. Dino of Dino's Restaurant will be live on the show at about 1:10 from the International Pizza Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada. Huge fan of Dino. Judah Wickower, I'm going to reach out to Nancy now. I am very, 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 very curious of how Charlottesville's housing shortage and Charlottesville's housing market is impacting other municipalities. And there's no person I know that understands Scottsville community better than the person you're about to see on screen. And it looks like she got a fresh haircut and looks absolutely fantastic. Her name is Nancy Gill. If we can go to the 2-shot and welcome Nancy to the program. You are live for this community, Nancy Gill. Is that haircut a new one? Former mayor of Scottsville. It looks fantastic.
Thank you, Jerry.
It's good to see you, Nancy. I very much enjoy our interviews in person because I love your energy and your zest for life, but I'm very grateful for you joining us virtually from Massachusetts. Your podcast, guys, I encourage anyone that is watching this program to go to Nancy Gill's page, and I encourage you guys, please, 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 to check out the James River Exchange. If there's something, a media outlet that's covering Scottsville and the nitty-gritty of the town of Scottsville, it's Nancy Gill and the James River Exchange. So Nancy, without further ado, I want to get out of your way, and I would love to talk the bird streets in Scottsville, and you showcase to everybody what's happening right now.
So Bird Street, for those who don't know, Dr. Charles Hurt purchased the whole tire plant factory, which was about 60 plus minus acres back, I think, 2009, 2010. It could be 2012. That's really not relevant. But he immediately, within a month of purchasing it, divided off 20 acres and made that the Upper Bird LLC, and then the remaining acreage along with the plant was Lower Bird LLC. Well, he came before council on several occasions with plans that were rejected, but finally came and settled on the potential of 36 units on the upper Bird portion of that property. And last night, after many, many months of it going to Planning Commission, of it going through Town Council, Council voted with a tie vote. The mayor broke in favor of the 36 home development on Upper Bird Street. And also, Jerry, you probably know of Southern Development.
I do. Frank Bailiff and Charlie Armstrong.
Frank Bailiff was at the meeting last night telling council what he plans to do, and his company will be building the 36 homes.
So a little background here, and then we'll get Nancy Gill's perspective here. Frank Bailiff and Dr. Charles Hurt, super tight. If memory serves correct, Dr. Hurt, undoubtedly a mentor to Frank Bailiff. As Frank learned the business, he did it under Dr. Hurt's tutelage. And then Mr. Frank Bailiff, who is great people, the owner of Southern Development, they do things the right way, a local developer, a developer that prides itself on being engaged with the community and showing up to meetings and interacting with residents to hear their pros and cons of the project, and often taking those pros and cons and integrating them into future iterations of the development. I'm a huge fan of Frank Bailiff. So that's a little background there. Now, this was a topic of, let's just call it a hot topic in the town of Scottsville. Explain to us why, Nancy Gill.
Gosh, I always say the only constant we have is change. And yet it's the biggest thing we fight. And that's basically the premise behind the negativity that came out regarding this. And I don't fault people for not wanting change, but when you have a town that the census tract, they actually do an annual estimation of where your population should be. And in 2020, we should have been over 600 residents. I mean, close, I think it's 650, 660. I don't remember the exact number. Instead, we dropped from 600 to 524. That's a major concern because, being small, we can't lose that many people. And some felt that, well, it's just like 40 people, not a big deal. It's a big deal. So I know that Planning Commission and Council took that into consideration in the decision. And quite frankly, a lot of I don't want to say naysayers, but those who really didn't want this have used that 20-acre parcel to walk their dogs, to actually hike themselves, and now it's going to be developed into up to 36 housing units. So I see that, they wouldn't want it, and also it's going to add to the neighborhood, which, I guess according to VDOT, the car trips, not really that big of a deal, but to them it is. So you take all of that into consideration and you see where they're coming from. But at the same time, one of the commissioners did a study and found that 36 homes, and this is why she, in her motion for the Planning Commission, recommended 36 homes, the lot size and the house size fits that community. So that's why 36 homes.
How about we highlight, you did a heck of a job on the James Exchange. Her podcast is tremendous. She highlighted former Vice Mayor Laura, is it Malusi?
Laura Malusi, yes.
Laura Malusi wrote a dynamic email on why this development was utterly needed for Scottsville. Can you offer some insight into this email? And please listen to the James Exchange, everyone.
So Laura has three children in the Albemarle school system, and she has served on the Scottsville Elementary School PTO, and always gets, probably her family would say, over-involved in things. And one of her main points was that as school population drops, so does contributions to the town's coffers, as do services such as social services, such as, what else she mentioned?
She mentioned the parks.
The parks, police, law enforcement, EMS. EMS is huge. So all of these things, as your population goes down, services go down. VDOT doesn't pay attention to you because you don't have the population. That was the gist of her email. And it really brought out a lot of things that people weren't talking about. As you know, I serve on health equity and access in rural regions, which here and we were very early in our journey for this organization. We met with the two hospitals, and one of them, when we asked, what can we do for you, for your employees, thinking, we have great walking trails in Scottsville, we can do all kinds of outdoor activities. They said, build affordable housing. That's what they wanted. And I bit my tongue. I did not respond by saying, pay them more. And that's, again, the service that we need, medical, but it's based on population and insurance coverage.
One of the things that stood out to me from former Vice Mayor Laura Malusi's email to you, which you spotlighted well in the James Exchange, was the impact of school population dropping and how funding from the Commonwealth is directly tied to school population. And when the town of Scottsville's population drops, and let's cut to the chase, is trending older, that this is very concerning for schools. Can we go down that road and highlight that, please?
Well, I hope that with these new houses, we get young, vibrant families moving to town. And folks that I talk to are much younger than I am. And that encourages me because they want to move to Scottsville. They want the small town environment and the welcoming atmosphere that we have for their children to grow up in. So, yes, school age is dropping, but it's not just in the town of Scottsville, it's in southern Albemarle. So, Scottsville Elementary School in Red Hill will be directly impacted by any downshift in population. And it's that 1% of the sales tax that businesses collect that goes back to the local municipality. And so when you say school children, so the town of Scottsville gets a portion of that 1% that is based on school-age children. So yeah, that's how it drops and that's how it impacts the town's coffers.
So the news here from Nancy Gill, who's a newsmaker and an influencer here, is Scottsville Town Council yesterday voted yes to a special use permit for 36 homes on Upper Bird, 36 homes to be constructed by Frank Bailiff and Southern Development. It was a tie on council, and the deciding vote was the mayor.
Correct.
I mean, that's news.
Yes, it is.
Did you expect the vote to shake out like that?
Yes.
And you expected the mayor to break the tie?
Yes.
That's why she's the best, guys. She has her pulse on the community, even from Massachusetts over there. So what happens now? Where do we go from here?
Well, Frank's team will start pulling together a more a site plan that is much more detailed. He'll have to go through the whole stormwater runoff. That's huge. And then everything needs to get approved from what he proposes. And just so, like, a lot of people don't understand that the county actually does all of our building permits and inspections. And I was able to see the stormwater runoff plan for Tiger Fuel. It's intense.
Tell us about that.
This is their first phase in developing out and bringing things before the county and the town. But their stormwater runoff plan, it's like they, of course, have to put in a little holding pond area that filters out everything. But I wished I had a picture of it, but I don't. It's unbelievable the amount of detail it goes into. And the fact that the county has to sign off on it is, I think, what a lot of people don't realize.
Gordon, go ahead.
Yes, Matt's pay grade.
Matt Lawless is the town of Scottsville city manager, or the town manager.
Yes.
So she's referencing Tiger Fuel, Gordon and Taylor Sutton, second generation family. Give us the who, what, when, where, why of this Tiger Fuel project, and give us the flip book of where we are with this project, and then what you think the impact this project will have on Scottsville and southern Albemarle County.
Okay. So they actually purchased, it was private, it wasn't through Tiger, but they purchased the Uptown Shopping Center pre-pandemic, like 5 months before the end of me being mayor. And I was so excited about it because they wanted to put a car wash in, and a car wash is the number one thing people want in Scottsville. Anyway, that didn't pan out the way they wanted, so they just purchased the Coleman property that is across from the bank. It's right on James River Road, or 726 and 20. So they're bringing to town their whole offerings, the car wash, the market, and of course gas. So when they bought this, they of course had to go through for not for the gas. I think it was they wanted a drive-through window so people could pre-order food and then drive through and pick it up. It's not like a McDonald's, you give your order and then go to the next window. That was a special use permit, that, and I forget what else, but when they bought the property, they just said, we're putting in everything. So right now, and that was, 2 years ago maybe they bought that. It's been a while, and it's going to be great for the town.
New jobs.
New jobs. And, the intersection there may be some much needed improvements. People are saying needs a light. Maybe it does. And I see the impact more positive than negative. Yeah, it'll add to the traffic. But we already have 7,000 to 8,000 cars a day going through town from Buckingham and Fluvanna. And I see this as a way to get them to stop.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. Nancy Gill, guys, our guest, former mayor of Scottsville, the host of the James Exchange podcast, which is dynamite. You bring up Buckingham, and the Board of Supervisors in Buckingham are making moves on a 2,000-acre solar farm. Please, Nancy. I mean, you guys see what's happening here. The borderline obscene housing prices in the city of Charlottesville and in Albemarle County, especially around the urban ring, are driving developmental tailwinds to Scottsville. You see what's happening here. There's a housing shortage of tremendous proportions in the city and in a lot of Albemarle County, and it is creating significant momentum around Scottsville, southern Albemarle County, and in Buckingham. Please give us the insight of the Buckingham Board of Supervisors and what's being planned for this 2,000-acre solar farm, because this is big.
It's big. So Apex, they're have their office there in Charlottesville, and they have gone into an agreement with Weyerhaeuser. Weyerhaeuser has a 2,000 acres. That's basically they timbered it and then put in the pines, and I guess they will be processing that out. Well, this is again 2,000 acres. It is on both sides of the road of Ponds Payne Road, just over the bridge, probably 5 miles over the bridge from Scottsville. And it's about a quarter mile from the river, tributaries running through, and that's people's main concern is runoff and the size of it. I mean, it's huge. I mean, I can't imagine 2,000 acres of solar panels. But anyway, both the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors, they held a joint public hearing on this, and both bodies voted for it. And basically what it brings to Buckingham is over 40 years, they will get in revenue sharing $16 million. I would have held out for maybe 3 or 4 times that amount, because $16 million over 40 years
is nothing.
It's insignificant.
Right.
But, that's what they voted for. So I know that, again, they have to go through so many, the site plan, it has to be inspected by DEQ. I think even Inland Games and Fisheries, I could be wrong on that, but, and federal organizations will have to really come in and do all of the permitting. So it's going to be probably a few years before that project is finished, and probably, it's going to take a while to get it off the ground. But people in that area of Buckingham are not happy at all.
I mean, you and I are all for solar power.
Yes,
okay?
Solar, that's the thing. Oh, nobody spoke against solar.
Right, we're all for solar. It's the execution. Is that fair, Reed?
That is it. And also, these solar farms, so there was one recently which Apex started and then sold in Campbell County. That solar farm is now selling power to Facebook. And I'm just connecting dots here and just sort of looking in my little magic crystal ball. But Amazon is putting a fairly large distribution center in Augusta County. And I'm wondering if this solar farm will be supplying power to them. That is part of Apex's game plan, because they are a private company. They're not a public utility. And they can sell their power to anybody, I guess, as long as they get access to power lines.
Guys, envision a farm that's 2,000 acres that has solar panels on it. That's what's happening. And Buckingham County got $40 million for this.
No, 16.
$16 million over 40 years.
Yes.
That, we are not throwing shade or throwing anyone under the bus here, but that left both Nancy and I scratching our heads. $16 million over 40 years. Nancy, if you were now there's no mayor in Buckingham, but the Nancy Gill I know is a shrewd negotiator. I'm sure you would have had some contention or some beef with that revenue share.
Again, I would have gone for at least 3 to 4 times more than that.
Right. Thank you, Nancy Gill. I want to highlight this about the town of Scottsville, okay? You guys have had 2 successful iterations of the designated outdoor refreshment area, the DORA, otherwise known as a beer garden. Mm-hmm. Now, Albemarle County's Office of Economic Development is seeking to explore the DORA concept even more and I'm reading Sean Tubbs' newsletter, which he sent to me before the show. The town of Scottsville's successful iterations with the Dora, twice, are being utilized as a proof of performance of how this could be executed elsewhere in Albemarle, specifically Stonefield and in Crozet. The shops of Stonefield and in Crozet. I would love for you to offer any insight, any perspective on the Scottsville designated outdoor refreshment area, the Dora, and how it was successful in driving engagement and revenue to the town of Scottsville.
Well, first and foremost, they actually partnered with other events. So the first one they did, Scottsville Center for Arts and Nature actually had, and the art is still in all of the windows along Valley Street and East Main Street. So they partnered with SCAN and the businesses, and that was the first one they did, extremely successful. No problems. Went off without a hitch, and the second one they did during the Christmas celebration. And again, partnered with, it was actually a town event, the Christmas tree lighting, and went off without a hitch. So, I really credit, again, Matt Lawless for really jumping on this and showing everybody that it can be done and done well and be safe, and there was no over drinking, no one got out of hand. So that was a job well done.
It was a job well done.
And again, Scottsville's leading the pack.
You guys are legitimately leading the charge here. Yeah. Albemarle County is utilizing Scottsville as a proof of performance on why the designated outdoor refreshment area should be considered for a tax revenue generation standpoint. Did you see engagement, like not normal engagement, from people patronizing and supporting the businesses and getting out there and spending money?
Well, yes, and people, like, I know I was not there for the art exhibit one, but it was like people came out because, it's as the pandemic was winding down, it was outdoors, and it was just a great gathering. I think Matt said something like a couple hundred people showed up, and they just stood around the town, talking to one another and looking at art and having a beer or a glass of wine. So, it was terrific, not just in that it was done well, but it was a truly great social gathering to start to close out this pandemic that doesn't seem to want to go away.
Well said. Well said. I want to plug the James Exchange, please. And before I do, and before we let you go, not only does she have a fresh, new, stylish haircut, but if memory serves correctly, those are new glasses since the last time I've seen you.
They are. It's like as the hair goes a little grayer, the eyes dim too.
I love the new glasses. They look absolutely fantastic. I love this lady, Nancy Gill. She's the type of lady that I would sit at James River Brewery with and have some IPAs with, undoubtedly. James Exchange, give us the nitty gritty, where we could find it, how we can listen, and you just released a fresh one.
I did. In fact, what I'm doing, so Jack Maxwell, our formal weather guy in Scottsville, he was actually given accommodation last evening by town council, so I'm bringing him on tomorrow. And he single-handedly helped get volunteers to help clean up the Van Cleef Nature Area, the trails, and it was great. So I'll have him on tomorrow. And I'm also going to, just for people to really hear the meeting, it's about 40 minutes long, but from the presentation that Bailiff's group did, all the way through the vote on last night's meeting on the Bird Street project, just so people can hear it and not make things up, because one of my very best friends who's no longer with us always said, well, if you don't know, make it up.
she's cutting through the conjecture and the gossip and the rumor mill, and she's offering straightforward perspective. Nancy Gill, you're the best. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, Jerry.
Hey, I cannot wait to see you in person. I'm grateful for your time here virtually. Thank you, Nancy Gill.
Well, I'll be back the middle of next month sometime.
Next month, I'm going to be reaching out to you.
Okay.
All right, you have a good one.
You too, Jerry.
All right, bye. Nancy Gill, guys, absolutely fantastic people. We are lucky to have Nancy Gill in this community. I want to emphasize this for everyone that's watching the program. A couple of takeaways from there. Southern Development does it the right way. These 36 new homes that will eventually be constructed by Frank and his team are needed. 3-3 vote, the deciding vote that pushed this project forward was the mayor's. We need to be open-minded about strategic development. This is not a bad project. This is a welcomed project. I also want to emphasize for everyone that's watching that a designated outdoor refreshment area, as Nancy just highlighted, would undoubtedly drive incremental tax revenue. So when you hear city leadership say that a designated outdoor refreshment area would not do that, you need to call them on it. And that's what I'm doing respectively. Dino, we are Skyping you now. It's ringing. I'm ringing him, Judah, so be on the lookout for that. Dino's going to be our guest, the owner of Dino's in Dairy Market, live from the International Pizza Expo. There he is. He is fantastic. He's on screen. Dino, are you ready to rock and roll, baby? You are live for the community right now. You look fantastic. How are you, my friend? Tell us what you're doing.
You are the best. We are competing here with 80 other traditional crust pizzerias in the world. Today is traditional and pan pizza. Tomorrow is modern, whatever, like new style pizzas. And if we win today's competition of traditional, we are going for the best prize in the globe.
Get out of town!
Yeah, this is Pizza Expo. There are people from Corsica, there are people from New Zealand, Australia, Italy, South America, like all pizzerias around the globe. These are like pizza anchors here, loving to try the best pizzas. We come here to present our best town in the world, Charlottesville, my friend.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Dino is at the International Pizza Expo in Las Vegas, representing Charlottesville, Virginia, with his fantastic pies and pizza. All right, so Dino, what's the nitty gritty? What does it take to win here? What does it take to win?
What it takes to win is to have two guys like these here as supporters that I have, Jay and Ennis here. And the other thing is like just have the love what we do and have the support of you, my friend, and all the people in Charlottesville that we cook for you every day. And everybody give us the confidence, telling us how great our pizza is, and that's what brought us here.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Dino, we know your pizza is amazing here. How's it stacking up so far against the competition?
Well, we came here to win it all, and we did some tasting last night. Everybody's talking about our dough and about our toppings. And then we go in with the traditional pepperoni sausage pizza, and the judges are blindfolded. So we are so excited. We will be competing in another hour or so. We are number 32. So they're calling the 26th number now. So we have another 6 numbers to go. And then we will be waiting for our 4 judges. And they're going to see the points. And we'll see how far we can go.
Are you nervous?
A little bit nervous, but you know what? I broke the ice of nervousness being public live in your show forever. So I don't care anymore. Regardless where we go, if you have the love and confidence, we're not worried at all. But it's just excited to be here experience all these like brand labels are like global, and then have all these vendors here. It's amazing experience.
Well, we know your pizza is amazing. We know your restaurant is amazing. We know everything about Dino's food, and your menu is absolutely amazing. Dino, let me throw this to you here. You guys are in Las Vegas right now. And make sure, my friend, that camera is on. Okay, you guys are in Las Vegas right now, my friend. Is it what happened?
Yes, we are right now connecting live with you.
What, you guys getting into some shenanigans in Las Vegas? Are you having some fun over there, my friend?
Today we are here 100%, and last night I let the boys take care of the fun, because we just make it like we made it, all three of us. We could be working 7 days a week there, and we came here as a team. I will be taking care of like try to make deals here with the brands, and fun will be later on. But I would like to bring my family for fun too. My wife will be mad if I say don't say anything, because she will be mad that I might be having fun here and she's not here. She's taking care of my boys, so that's not fair for me to have fun without her.
Hey, I know what it's like. I got a wife and a son too, which you've met before. How about we do this? Let's sing the praises of your wife and your family. Let's give some props to your family.
I appreciate you so much. Always, you are in our hearts. You're an amazing person. Your show is brought us here because, honestly, I'm not trying to promote your show myself, but I have a connection with you, and whatever you do, you always respond to like matter of seconds, and that's why I love you, because you're helping incredible people in our town to make difference.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you. I honestly feel the same way about you. I love seeing you at Dairy Market. How's it going at Dairy Market? How's your restaurant doing?
The restaurant is doing great. We are doing awesome. Everybody's doing great there. We are being visited. I cannot recall the number, how many people visited us last year, but it was record breaking. They're counting the sensors at the door. Stony Point did amazing job putting that location there, and they're being so supportive, from Chris Henry to Kevin to Zach, and then also Retro. They're like hands-on. It's not like I rented in the past from other landlords, but I just never saw them. Chris Henry and Kevin, even though they hired the third parties to do the job, they're always come and see, and then they are available 24/7 for us. Any demands or anything concerns we have in there. That's what makes the difference.
So you got people commenting on the show. Scott Aaronworth is watching in Virginia Beach. He says, "Go Dino," and he loves your pizza. You got the community giving you some support right now. This is an interesting question that just came in. Are there any new techniques or ingredients with pizza that you've learned at the expo that we may see at your restaurant in Dairy Market?
We came for that purpose, to see where we stand in, and there will be a lot of things we're going to bring home from here. We came here to experience what the rest of the world is doing and bring it and experience that in our location in Scottsville. Definitely we're gonna have some new things coming up there soon. We'll just see we came not just to win, but we came to see where we stand up with other people and learn. You can never stop learning.
I love it. I think you guys are going to win. How about you say something about your wife and your kids? They love you. Your wife and your kids support you.
I love her. I love them. They are with me here, even though they're not physically. I love her. I love my kids, and then I love her that she's taking care of them. And she told me go and get it.
Yeah, go and get it, Tina. Give a message to the community. Tell Charlottesville something.
Charlottesville, we all love you. Greetings from Vegas. Greetings from Jay and Ines and all the Dairy Market people there. As you see our logo here in the back, it says, that's what we're presenting right here, from Charlottesville with love.
You guys are awesome. I love you. Good luck. I can't wait to see you in person. All the best. Get that trophy, Dino.
I will be letting you know. You'll be the first one what place we got.
Okay, we'll let everybody know. Your pizza's amazing. Peace, my friend.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck, Dino. Good to see you. Dino, Judah, let's get that two-shot with you ready to rock and roll here, because one thing I know about you is you love Dino and you love good pizza and you have a voracious appetite. We got Dino at the International Pizza Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada. representing Charlottesville. Oh, I just love this community so much. I wish him the best of luck. I wish anyone that's representing Charlottesville in a positive fashion luck and support. And I hope you enjoyed today's program. Nancy Gill dropping knowledge on a development that's about to happen. 36 units that just got approved last night, with the tiebreaker being offered by the mayor. The mayor offering the tiebreaker. Now Bailiff in Southern gets the green light. We got Dino in Las Vegas, in Sin City right now, representing CVille in a pizza competition. I mean, it doesn't get any better right now. Last night, we saw that Council Charlottesville is getting the conservative mindset it needs with its financial responsibilities, and is going to not go the maximum 10-cent real estate tax rate increase, and is also going to likely consider tabling reconfiguration. I mean, the community is doing the right things and heading in the right direction. Judah, I'm going to get you on screen here with the two-shot. Dino and your boy and that pizza. Dude, potential first place on the line in an international competition. What did you make of that?
Dino's the man. I think I need to turn up my microphone. That ought to be better. Dino is the man.
He's the man.
I mean, who else could go to Las Vegas and win first place of like every pizza maker in the world?
Dude, pizza's dynamite, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt.
It's absolutely dynamite. It's some of the best I've had. I love the brick oven. I love the crust. I love the hospitality. I love seeing him.
Yeah.
I love the dairy market experience. You think they take home first place?
I'm rooting for him. I say he's going to do it.
I say he's going to do it. I say he's going to do it. Did you hear him say they called number 26 and he was number 32? So we're doing the interview with him when he literally is 6 spots away from going to the judges' circle and having a blind taste challenge in an international competition.
Did he say whether they have to make the pizza right there, right before they taste it, or is it?
Oh, I think you certainly do. I mean, I wouldn't imagine.
So he's got a little time.
I would imagine
if every one of those 6 people has to make
I wouldn't
their own
imagine
pizza.
the pizza's going to be made yesterday or this morning. Yeah. I would hope to God it's fresh.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, man. I love this community so much. Nancy Gill was fantastic.
Always.
She is fantastic. I would pony up to James River Brewery with Nancy Gill and drink some pints.
Yeah.
And talk Scottsville and Southern Albemarle County.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, you did a hell of a job today. A lot of moving parts on today's program. What did you make of council saying the pulse, at least? They haven't said it officially, but likely no to a 10-cent real estate tax rate increase. Any take on that?
I don't think there was ever a whole lot of doubt. I mean, like you and I saw from Michael Payne and Mayor Lloyd Snook, there did not seem to be a whole lot of energy behind getting that 10 cents pushed through. I mean, I think everybody on the council knows that's just going to kill our community. They're smart people.
I'll tell you what. We'll follow it closely on the program. That's what we do here on the show. We try to follow topics that matter, and we bring them to you in long-form content like no one else can. It's not a 30-second soundbite or a 15-second clip. It's a long-form content with decision makers and people of influence on the program. Dino, we wish you the best of luck. Nancy Gill, we can't wait to see you in person. Council, we will follow it closely. I encourage all of council to consider the designated outdoor refreshment area. It literally is being discussed in Albemarle County for Crozet, Stonefield, in the town of Scottsville. And I can encourage you respectfully that if you do not make this move, you will lose a portion of your tax base to your jurisdictional neighbor. I promise you that will happen. I'm Jerry Miller for Judah Wickhauer. This is the I Love CVille Show on a Tuesday. So long.